I think as Stephanie mentioned, I'm here representing the Biodiversity Accelerator Plus. This is a project of Silverstrand Capital, which is a single family office that's based in Singapore. So I thought it would be nice to, just talk a little bit about who Silverstrand Capital is, because I think that's always of interest. So Silverstrand, we're not, accelerator as a service. We're not, professional accelerator or service providers. We're first and foremost impact investors with a mandate around biodiversity. That was kind of a shift that we made in late 2021 from our original focus in regenerative agriculture. So ag is still a big part of our mandate, but we now look broader into other, natural capital markets, conservation, ecotourism, etc. I think, honestly, the sectors keep expanding and it's exciting and confusing, but we're, figuring it out together. So Silverstrand Capital, we're quite a small team. Most of the team has more of a finance background, nonprofit background. I kind of stumbled into this by accident, by academic training. I'm more of a biologist. I did some environmental policy in school as well. So very much into like survey work and being in the field and getting excited by spider genitalia and these kind of weird things, but now I'm somehow in finance and working with founders and really enjoying that kind of work. So, we still do our proper job is still on the impact investing side. And I think it very much informs the design of our accelerator program. But I guess, the push to launch this program came from our feeling that there needed to be more done in the space to support technical founders, to bridge the science with the markets, and to achieve impact at scale. Also, I'm not sure if everybody can hear me okay. My mic sometimes tweaks, so let me know if you're not hearing me. Okay, sounds good.
You're good.
Okay, so this is who we are. So we launched this program just last year, was our first cohort, and I wanted to put the logos out here to give shout outs because I know that some of these guys are members of this community, and when they saw that we were presenting, they were like really excited. So shout out to them, they were really great. So I think we learned a lot from that cohort last year. We had stuff in drones and in data analytics and in camera traps and in corals. So we're pretty excited about that. And if you want to see a little booklet that we made, you can scan this QR code. But yeah, here's a little snapshot of us being together in person. It was very cute. We, met up in Singapore at the start of the program, and at the end of the program, we brought them to Jeju in South Korea to meet with a community of impact investors. And yeah, this is kind of just like show and tell at this point. Yeah, and I think, last year we learned a lot from the cohort and from the experience, but I think overall, people benefited from it, not just from us, but also from the peer learning. And that's something that we're really proud of and we want to continue again in this year's edition. So I think last year, the theme was quite broad because we were, just launching it and not really sure what would be out there. So last year, we had a mixture of like tech-enabled solutions as well as more community-based ones. This year, we're tying it closer to our regular day jobs of the impact investing side and trying to support kind of the types of businesses that are looking for venture capital and helping them to do that branding, the marketing, et cetera, as well as financial modeling, et cetera. And we're focusing on what we're terming the infrastructure of a natural capital market. Honestly, it's still quite a broad category. So we have like MRV in there, stuff like Arbimon is doing, project development tools. So, geospatial analytics, those that are matching it with financial modeling, et cetera. It's really broad. So if you want to take a look at some of the areas we're looking at, feel free to take a look at the website. Okay, I have my eye on the time. Well, about the program, it's a 3-month program. Like I said, we have a in-person component, which is 1 week long, and then the rest of it is online. The in-person component will be where you get to meet the coaches that you'll be working with throughout the program, and kind of setting the stage for the strategic thinking for the rest of it. So the way that we work is that we've kind of engaged with professionals across these different kind of topics, right? So like the professional branding agency or the finance and like modeling agencies, etc. So we have coaches, and then we also have like entrepreneurs in residence who we will pair with each company. Yeah, but we launched our applications just last week. Applications are still open. So if you think this is interesting or somebody in your network does, please feel free to take a look at the website. The program itself will start in end of August, and then the whole program ends in early December with our in-person demo day. I can't release the details of that event, but we're trying to tag along with other relevant conferences and stuff to get the right people in the room. So we're excited about that. And why join, besides all the things that I've said already? And I guess also this is a bit like the details of the program. Unlike other accelerators, this is a equity-free opportunity. So yeah, I think, to be honest, like a lot of programs can be kind of predatory. Like they get you in early, they just provide you with coaching that they get for free from some random person. But we're really using our philanthropic capital here to pay for professional services, get you credits for software and good coaching, etc. And we're not taking any equity for it. So the in-person component is also all paid for, the flights, the accommodation, the events. And then, that of course gets you access. I didn't write it here, but it gets you access to a really great ecosystem, the network that we have here. We also have like resources, like investor databases, media databases, legal templates, etc. And then we also do a lot to try to amplify the voice of our founders. Yeah, there are some of the ecosystem partners that we're really happy to have on board. So, as part of the program as well, we'll have like weekly fireside chats to get the founders in front of investors and understand how they're thinking, but also just, make that personal connection. And the cohort that we're aiming for is only 8 companies. So it's always a very intimate setting. And yeah. Thank you. I think I got to 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or scan this QR code to get to our website.
Well, I've dropped a link to the website in the chat as well, so people can find it. Before we move on, what was the biggest thing you learned from the first round of the accelerator last year?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think it depends on honestly, what perspective you're taking, right? I think I learned a lot about how people learn. I think there are a lot of things that I took for granted. Like last year, we were using Google Drive to share a lot of the resources, and it just confused people so much. Like Google Drive, Google Calendar, this is such a simplistic, my biggest learning. But that's been a journey, I guess, because we're not, like educators by training. That's definitely something that we're improving on this year, and processes and just like making sure that it's smooth. I feel like we had a lot of resources, but it was just like directing people to the right places. We're getting better at that. But I think also like the entrepreneur in residence kind of concept is new this year, because last year it was just kind of our own team that was walking through the whole program the entire time. And I think being able to give that really in-depth strategic consulting with all 8 over the 3 months was a bit challenging for just us. So we're really trying to bring in and crowdsource more expertise.
What do you think I will move on, but like, what do you think? It's just because I invited you along because we had the most interesting conversation about the role of different funding mechanisms and private sector and impact investment, and the role it could play in conservation technology and advancing the tools that we have available. What do you think is changing at the moment, and the role for organizations like yours in our sector?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's really exciting, all the policy movements. I mean, obviously this is kind of like a controversial topic, but we're watching like the movements around biodiversity credits
Yeah.
really closely. Like I think you guys probably know stuff at Terrasos in Colombia, like that's early, but I think like in the UK as well, they have like biodiversity metrics, and I think like there's more acceptance at a policy level of technology. I mean, I think it's still quite slow and we're still early in it. But I think that's providing kind of a new framework for this revolution, right?
Mm.
It's not like the industrial revolution. The green revolution is more policy driven, and it's finally, coming around for biodiversity and not just carbon. But we've all seen how it's exploded for carbon in the last like 5 years, right? So yeah, I think that's some of the things that we're hoping to talk about in the program.
Interesting. And what would be your dream ideal organization to apply to the accelerator?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, I think we look a lot at the MRV space. I think that's a bit unsurprising.
What's
No.
MRV for everyone?
Oh, yes, measurement, reporting, and verification. So on the data side, I think it's so boring at this point, like everybody's doing it, but it is like the biggest opportunity. But I think with biodiversity, it's so hard. Like we do have so much data, but it's such a big challenge to find something that's like current and like updated. And yeah, it's just carbon's already very difficult and biodiversity is a whole other ballgame. But I think, oh, the lights went off, but like eDNA, bioacoustics, that's all like really excited. So I'm excited to see Arbimon here today too.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Rachel. If anyone's got questions for Rachel about the accelerator or just about their work in general, pop them into the chat.